Hey, Dirt Bandit back. I was asked by a subscriber to do a video on GAIA GPS and how to use it, so that's what I'm going to do. So when you go to the website, it's GAIAGPS.com//map, and you want to come over here to these little boxes right here. These are your map layers and overlays. So you want to click on that. And if you're just starting out, you're not going to have any of these up on top here. What you're going to want to do is go down here to add map layers. Click on that. And now you have all these little categories to choose from. And you want to go to United States. And the ones that I chose are obviously the historic 1900 and the 1930 map. So you're going to want to, I've already clicked add on those, so if you don't already have those clicked, you want to press this little plus button, and that's going to add these to your chosen layers. So once you go ahead and go through these and click all the ones that you want, you're going to want to go back, hit this back button, and you're going to want to scroll down here and click the ones that you want up in this top area here, your visible layers. So I actually don't want that one, so I'm going to click that off, and I don't want this one. The ones I typically use are satellite with labels, historic topo 1900, historic topo 1930, and GAIA topo. So I've got all those marked. So if you don't have any of those, you're going to want to scroll down to your hidden layers. Those are the ones that you pressed plus on, and those are all going to be right down in this area here. So you're going to want to go down and satellite topo. So if I click on that one, that's going to bring that up to the top right here, satellite topo. So then I've got another one I could use. And I personally don't want that one, so I'm going to click that off. But you guys kind of get the point here. So once you get all of your map overlays up top here, what you can do then is to see your maps. You're going to want to click all the way to the very end here. I do both at the same time, and then you're going to want to minimize GAIA topo and satellite. And we'll let that load for a second. So I'm going to zoom out, and you'll notice that there's not everywhere on the United States has these 1900, 1930 maps. They're still loading, but you're going to want to make sure that you actually have these. You're in a state where you have all these maps available. Otherwise, you're going to kind of waste your money. And I kind of give a brief. I kind of show you in my other video. I'll just show you right now, but it's still loading. But you definitely get a lot more on the East Coast than you do the West Coast. You don't really get a lot in Montana or North and South Dakota. You get a little bit, not so much in Nevada, a little bit in Arizona, a little bit in Texas, not so much in Georgia or Florida though. So if you live in those two states, or up in the northern Midwest. Anyways, you're going to want to come over here. I'm just going to pick a different state. So what you're going to want to do is click on create waypoint, this little teardrop shape. Click that, and it'll bring this little icon up. So you're going to want to use your mouse cursor to move it over to where you want it, right there. Once you have it there, go down and press save, and you can go ahead and put any notes you want on here. Not sure what you would put there, but you can come up with something. So then you're going to want to you can actually change these icons to a different color depending on, say, if you're going to go detecting one day and you've got a whole bunch of these little red icons everywhere. Sometimes you could get confused on which one's which. So if I'm going to go out on a particular day and I want to go to specific locations, I'll go ahead and change it to like maybe a teal, and then maybe even add a note here to let me know. And then that way, out of all those red little icons, I've got maybe 2 or 3 teal ones, and I know that the teal ones I want to go see that day. So anyway, that's what I do there. Then you can also create a route if you want to, using this little tool here, and then create an area. It's right there. You can go ahead and save that. You can create a title if you want. Create some notes on that. And we've got more options here. So we'll close that out. Here's a pretty good example here. So this is Como. I'm not really sure where this is. I'm not going to zoom out because my computer's running kind of slow right now. But let me just increase opacity here and show you guys kind of what we're looking at. It's pretty much a dead little town here. There's really not a lot going on. And you can see it gives you little markers here. Historic Como. That's pretty much all it says on that one, I guess. But you know, then you go back. This is a 1930 map, so you can kind of see all these little structures, everything going on over here. So let's just, for fun, these little guys over here. I like to look for old schools too, but I don't really see any, unless that's what that is. Yeah, I think that's an old school right there. You can kind of see a little square with a little flagpole. That would be a school, and a little square like this right here with the little cross, that would be a church. Those are my favorite places to go check out, especially in older towns. So let's go and mark those, and they're fairly close together. So let's go and mark the school here, and then we'll also mark the church. It could be there still, so let's take a look. Now increase the opacity. Now it looks like they may be, and then again these are a little off, so that could have been a little bit more this way, but that's kind of hard to tell in this image here. It's kind of grainy for some weird reason. So what you can do when you have this app is download the app on your phone and turn it on, and it's going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to give you these same options. Sometimes it could be a little bit finicky on your phone. I'm not going to deny that. Sometimes I have a little bit of issues here and there, but on the desktop it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy for me to kind of navigate and to use. But I will say that if you're going out anywhere, and if you have any of these locations marked on your desktop, what you're going to want to do is, before you leave, you're going to want to open your app on your phone and make sure it's synced up to the changes you've made on the desktop, because I've gone out, and because I didn't open it up while I was out of service, it didn't save any of those locations that I marked on my desktop. I mean, it was still there, but it just didn't show up on my phone. So you're going to want to do that before you leave. So once you have it brought up on your phone, it'll give you a GPS marker on where you are, and I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah, open your app, sign in, and it'll show you where you are. It'll give you little crosshairs, just like this one right here. And you want to click on that, and it'll bring you to where you are on the GPS. So when you leave, and don't do this on your own, it's dangerous to follow this GPS when you're all by yourself. I mean, you can, but pay attention to the road, guys, please. So what you're going to want to do is click on that little arrow. It's going to show you where you are, and then when you leave, it's just going to act like a regular GPS and show you where you're going. But you can drive through. So you can minimize this right here. and it'll show you on this old map where you are in this 1930 map. So you're basically driving through a 1930 map, and you can zoom in a lot closer and it'll show you with really good accuracy where you are along this road. And you can see that in my last video that I posted. Gives you a pretty good idea of how that's going to look, and it's really darn accurate. It's, between 30, 50, maybe even 100 feet off, but hey, it gives you the general direction, the general area on where you need to be. And please be sure to get permission on any land that you find. You don't want to be caught trespassing, because it's just going to make us in the hobby look bad, and they're going to create more laws and start banning metal detecting in certain places. So make sure you do the right thing and get permission. Anyways, guys, I hope that answers a lot of your questions. I know there's probably a lot more I can go into on this app, but for all of you guys starting out, that should give you a pretty good idea of how to use the app. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching my videos and subscribing, liking. Definitely appreciate it. And you guys have a good one, and stay safe out there.